Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight are two very funny actors, comedians, and writers who co-star in the new movie Kinda Pregnant, which is streaming now on Netflix. Let's take a look.
Oh, thank you. You're not drinking. You look like you don't want to talk about holes. Are you pregnant? No! No? No! Get rid of it! What? No, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. God, I thought that I would have a baby first, and you would like wait too long and, you know, try and adopt, and that wouldn't really pan out, and you would just get like some weird pet, like off-brand, like a ferret or some I don't know, but I'm so happy for you. A baby!
Please welcome back to the show our very good friends Amy Schumer and Jillian Bell, everybody. And let me just say, Amy, I want to start by just complimenting you. A lot of times people will do promotion for a film and you can tell they're sort of mailing it in. You are not mailing it in. Because you as an homage to the last scene in Trainwreck, you were at Madison Square Garden and you performed just this weekend with the Knicks City Dancers.
Yes, and my good friend Jillian was right there, sitting right next to me, supporting me. And I almost needed a hip replacement. It was very tiring for me. It was an exhausting
But you did not, and again, like a little rehearsal? Did you work with your friends?
I worked with them, yes. We had two short rehearsals.
Okay.
They were slotted to be longer, but as I said, I'm out of shape and I'm tired and I'm old and my bones are old, so we cut them pretty short.
But I will say it paid off. Here's a clip of Amy at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, great, okay. Okay, so that's us.
Yeah, looking surprised. Look how surprised.
The dancers come over and they're like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I'll go out there. And you're like, go out there.
Yeah, go for it.
And then it's like, what am I gonna do? I'll do the dance.
Yes.
Look at her. I'm doing the dance. I'm a little off, but nobody's worried about it.
No, everybody's very happy.
Look, and I'm with them, and I'm doing what they're doing, and then the kick line, and this is where I thought, is there a stretcher nearby?
Yeah. Now, this is a photo of the kick line, and you would like to point something out. Now, only because you sort of have a bit of a history with dancing, you notice something that the normal human eye would not notice.
True.
About the difference in how high your legs are.
Yeah, so if you look at where these ladies are kicking,
like this?
Yeah, if you could point it out,
like this,
there's where they are,
and then like there,
and then you get down there where I am.
I will say it was very smart of you not to wear a white shoe.
Yes,
because I feel like that's what you can really see based on this, like that kind of.
Well, because you're kind of blending in with the bloomers, so it works perfectly.
It almost just looks like I'm taking a step, but I did my best, and they were very nice.
She killed it.
She killed it. Jillian, did you feel it was incumbent upon you to get her in the right headspace to help her with her nerves before?
I mean, always.
Yeah.
Seth, always.
Actually, yeah.
I did.
She did.
I promised you a margarita as soon as it was done.
That's very sweet.
Do this, and then you're gonna have a margarita.
I promised you that no one cared and was excited.
Yes.
And the third thing was I told you a dirty joke. My favorite dirty joke.
You told me a filthy, disgusting joke.
Can you? Is it a joke you can tell? Yeah, just tell it.
I think so. Okay. It is, why does Dr. Pepper come in a can?
Yes, and I said, I don't know. Why?
And it's because his wife died.
And
it takes you a second. It takes you a second.
Because it's very disgusting.
There's ashes.
Yeah.
It's ashes.
It's ashes, and he's ejaculating.
Well, I wasn't going to say the word, but...
God, man, I hear a joke like that and it makes me want to dance. All right, so very funny clip, but it does not really quite lay out the premise of the film. Can you explain Kinda Pregnant?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So my character has always wanted to be a mom, always wanted to be married, and because she doesn't want to be alone, she doesn't have a family, and we grew up together, and then all of a sudden my best friend having a baby, and my boyfriend breaks up with me, and so I sort of wind up faking this pregnancy and falling in love, and it's this big lie that I have to keep up.
Because you're wearing a fake belly.
I'm wearing a
and
fake belly.
And it's sort of everybody gives you a different level of status.
Yes.
Because they're so happy for you, even strangers.
Yeah, because if you're pregnant, stranger people, they give you a look. Oh, you're treated like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And you give up their subway seats and whatever. And I just kind of wanted to see what that felt like and just see what it felt like, and then I get trapped in this lie.
We had your co-star Will Forte here, and there's a very funny sex scene because he falls in love with you. He thinks you're pregnant, but you can't let him put his hands on you. So you guys have a sex scene where he's wearing oven mitts and a blindfold.
And a blindfold. That's right.
And it is very erotic.
It is
One of the funniest sex scenes I've ever
it's
seen.
very hard. The bar for a funny sex scene is very high. And yet,
Especially with Will Forte.
yeah, who has his MacGruber sex scene.
Yes. Thank God for the intimacy coordinator, okay? But really, you think of those people as there to make sure you feel safe, but really she was just telling me, like, Amy, what you're doing doesn't make physical sense. Like, that's not how people have sex.
She was like in intimacy, like helping you be intimate.
She's like, this is how it goes, and I'm like, okay. So, Nicole Callender, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But that was an extremely physical scene, very hard. And Will just had to lay there, you know, and do nothing. And I was up there doing, gymnastics.
Classic man. Classic.
Yeah, classic.
How are you, Jillian? I mean, obviously you're making a comedy, and you guys are very. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Are you allowed to ask that in 2025? How are you?
Totally. That's the main
You're
question.
allowed again.
You're allowed again.
You're
That's
allowed
right.
again, yes.
How are you as a scene partner?
Oh, the worst. I'm actually really bad.
She's a terrible scene partner.
Well, because anytime Amy had an intense scene, it was like a close-up on her, I would come up and say, hey, just a heads up, I know you're about to go. And they're like rolling.
And I think she was really serious.
And I said, I'm mad at you. We'll talk about it later. We're about to go. We'll talk about it later. And then I would run away. The other thing I would do is tell her that a major celebrity had just died.
Right before takes, they'd be like rolling, and
rolling,
she'd
and
come over
I'm like Taylor Swift. Ariana Grande.
Didn't make it.
Ariana, adios.
And she was so funny that a lot of times, when someone's so funny you can't look at them, but because of eye line and coverage, like I would look just right past her. So when we're doing a scene, it would be like she's here and I'm actually like looking here, just so I wouldn't laugh.
And everybody was like, you guys didn't look like you connected in any of your scenes.
Yeah,
like, we know.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
I have a lot more to ask both of you. We will be back with Amy and Jillian right after this. We're back with Amy Schumer, Jillian Bell. Movie's fantastic. Kind of pregnant. Jillian, earlier this week I met your lovely fiance. He's backstage. You got engaged during filming.
I did, basically. He said, thank you. He said, I have to spoil a surprise. And I said, please don't, I love a surprise. And he said, well, it's too big of a surprise and it's not gonna be here by your 40th birthday. Okay. And he showed me a picture of it.
A picture of the ring.
A picture of the ring.
Right.
And I was like, yes, we're doing it. And then I came the next day to work and I told all the ladies. And that's when my fiance, who is like the loveliest, handsome, sweetest guy, but also the shyest man, got a phone call from Amy Schumer. Basically saying, okay, you're gonna come on set, we'll get all of the cast and crew, you're gonna propose.
We'll fill the room with roses.
There'll be cake and fireworks indoors. And
I don't know what happened to me. I got really excited.
Could you tell the way he was receiving the message that he was uncomfortable with the boundaries you'd crossed?
No, that's the thing with, you know me, like we're
Yeah.
good friends. Like someone like me, like really doesn't realize, is a sociopath. Doesn't understand. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, so this should be done on set. And like, it should be like a millionaire matchmaker. And then you guys will be like whisked away in a helicopter. It was just so stupid.
it was so sweet.
And
but
he
like,
was sweet, but
the first time I called him on the phone, he was like, is something wrong? And I'm like, I'm your girlfriend. We have to talk sometimes on the phone.
So getting a call from
Amy
Schumer.
he thought you were dead. He thought you were dead.
He thought I was dead on set.
I'm like, she's not dead.
She was with, I have a question for you. This summer, we were in the same place this summer, and you are you were very kind because you kept showing this movie to friends. And it was
Yes.
lovely because I think for a lot of us, we were so happy because we all have young children and we were able to say, like, I can't watch my kids today. I have to go watch Amy's movie.
Do me a favor, yeah.
Well, but you were doing us a favor because it was
Yeah.
like fake work.
Right.
Because we just basically got to watch like a 2-hour comedy.
Right, at noon on
Yeah.
a Tuesday, I'd be like, will you do me this huge favor? And I'd be like, oh, okay. And then we'd be like, well, I guess we should probably drink.
Yep.
Because we're watching a movie, you know?
Yep.
So just like, we would just be drunk, like day drinking, watching. And you're like, we're giving notes, but we're all like drunk. So like,
Yeah.
I didn't even write anything down.
When it was
but-
over, you were like, what'd you think? I'm like, love you.
Yeah, you're my best
That's
friend.
what I like.
That's all I know.
You guys both play teachers in the film. Your parents got some feedback from a second grade teacher.
Yes, my second grade teacher was very concerned and called my parents because when I was little, you know, if you fill out the list for Santa and you send it in, well, my teacher read it. That's rude. And showed it to my parents, and it basically said that I wanted a VHS copy of Misery, Silence of the Lambs, Copycat, which is a Sigourney Weaver hit,
Yep.
and The Sharpest Knife in the World.
And you thought she wouldn't call your parents?
I just thought she wasn't a snitch. I thought it was just for Santa, you know?
You walked up and you're like, big mistake.
Big mistake, huge.
Yeah. You've worn a fake baby bump as you do in the film. You've worn a fake baby bump on this show.
Yes, I
This
did.
was an idea you had. that you-
This was my pitch.
Yeah.
And I was already pregnant.
Yeah.
And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I came out with the biggest pregnancy belly ever?
Yeah, it was that.
And and you were kind of like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, Seth, like, come, trust me, we got this. And the crowd just thought I was having like an Octomom experience. And it bombed, and you were right. But now we have this, picture. in
Well, it's when
perpetuity.
you say like this photo was funny because I explained it ahead of time. But
Right.
like to in the defense of the audience that night,
Right, yes.
you just came out with no explanation. They were
Nothing.
like, oh, I don't know what we're supposed to think.
Yeah. This woman is in a bad way, but yeah, it absolutely tanked.
Did you
But
keep
I
it on
ju-
the whole time?
No, I took it off. Like I had to bail on the joke. It was really uncomfortable. I felt really bad for the audience.
I want to make you feel better by
Oh,
telling a
okay.
story about Jillian bombing really bad.
Oh, good.
Here we
Okay,
go.
good.
All right, so you were a writer on SNL, and you
Yes.
wrote, and this is no exaggeration, one of my favorite sketches that got nothing from an audience ever.
Zero.
It was called Grief Counselors.
Yes.
And Kristen Wiig and Charles Barkley were grief counselors.
Look at Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
She has a keyboard on her sleeves, and he has a banjo.
Yeah.
And Will Forte was also in
Yeah,
it.
Will Forte was a guy, and they basically, someone in the office had died, and he brought these two in as grief counselors.
Let me tell you this. Correct you.
They're wearing little
A third
halos.
of the office had died at the company picnic. So Will Forte, as the boss, hired grief counselors off of a pamphlet outside somewhere,
Yeah.
a restaurant, and they come and they just walk in going, "Come on, come on, come on," like that. Thank you. Come on. And that's like most of the sketch is they're trying to pump up an office that has just witnessed like all of their coworkers.
And then they take a
being murdered.
break to drink water.
They immediately take a break to drink water, and they put chattering teeth on the floor for people to watch.
Oh, come on.
They're like, this will cheer you
Good.
up. We have to take a break. And it's them drinking water, and just like, every now and then Wig looks up from her water and points at the
Yeah.
chattering teeth.
But they'd be like sitting together. Like,
And the
get
best thing
there?
about it was Charles Barkley.
it was Charles Barkley.
And
In a
it,
pony and a ponytail.
And it was not even close to working.
There were no laughs that Fred Armisen and Andy Samberg were the only two people laughing in the building.
And they were in the sketch.
They were in the sketch.
And that's
they
always
were
a
great.
bad sign.
Yeah, that's a bad
When they're like it's like the calls coming from inside the house.
Exactly.
It's like bad news, the laughs are coming from within the sketch. But we do a thing, and we actually, this just proves how much I love it. We do something called Second Chance Theater on the show. And in the opening title package, I picked my dream cast.
Wow.
And so one day, we got to get Barkley, we got to get Wig, we got to do Grief Counselors and give it the shot it deserves. Because it truly
Please.
is an inspired piece of work.
That would make me so happy.
It is very funny. The movie's fantastic. Thank you both for being here. You guys, that's Amy Schumer, that's Jillian Bell, Kinda Pregnant, streaming on Netflix. We'll be right back with George Wallace.